Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Merlin. Last time on Merlin, we had the death song of Uther Pendragon, where Arthur was given a horn by a dying sorceress. Anyway, he was given a magical horn, and then he blew it at Stonehenge, and then he was able to talk to his father, and his father was like, "Fuck you," and it was like, "Aw," and then Arthur looked back as he was leaving, and it unleashed Uther's spirit, and he was like, "Fuck all these people," until Arthur eventually had to come in. Well, Arthur and Merlin came in, and first Merlin was like, "Fuck you, I'm a sorcerer," and just before Uther was about to say, "Fuck you, sorcerer," Arthur came in and was like, "Fuck you, Dad," and then sent him back, and that was that. It was a lot more emotional than the way I'm describing it. Man, oh man, with the amount of fuck yous I just laid out, we're probably not getting monetized this episode, so... Welp! Anyway, that was pretty much it. It was a brilliant episode, really loved it. Great performances all around, and I'm excited to see where we are going this time. So, yeah. This is where I say no spoilers. This is also where I say if you want to watch my reaction... Friggin', I thought I broke that. If you want to watch my reaction to this episode of Merlin, what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comments, click on the link there. That will take you over to the reaction, and you can watch it. Hopefully have a good time. When you're done with that, you can pop right back over here for the discussion. This is where the discussion is. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this episode of Merlin. Here we go. Alrighty, that was a good episode. A good episode indeed. Not a whole lot, like, note-wise, I'd say, but still pretty good. Still pretty good. So as I was saying at the end of the highlight or full length or whichever one you were watching, I was talking about how it's interesting that they say that Merlin is a clearly superior sorcerer. Like, he's more powerful as a sorcerer. Now, the interesting thing is that, okay, you can argue that it honestly makes sense because Merlin has been using magic his whole life, It's Maybelline, Whereas Morgana has only been using her magic for, a few years, but still. But she is slowly... honestly, she is getting closer to Merlin's power level, I guess. Which, I don't really know how we could judge... I don't know how we could really judge power levels in this show, and to only be doing this in the final season does feel kind of weird, but, okay, I guess if we could say... You know what, Okay, I'm going to make a power level scale for this show. Right here, right now. Watch. I'm going to put Merlin as a 5. Right here, right now. As a 5. Based on the series. And he's going to be basically the bar that we set on power levels right now. So Merlin is at a 5. Basically for how powerful he is in Season 5. Morgana, I would probably... Where would I put Morgana on that power level? So we have Merlin as our sort of bar on our power scale. And he is currently sitting at a 5 because this is Season 5 and that's how we're judging it. Where would I put Morgana on that? Maybe... And this is, this is sort of basing this off of Merlin has been, getting stronger as the series has gone on, which he has, Now, granted, there were some times earlier on where, he would need really powerful magic, but he wasn't capable of it, so the dragon had to, give him the knowledge or the power of how to do it, and then he used it. But I still think, in a situation like that, let's say, back when he was at 2, we'll say, because I don't remember what exactly, what episode that was. But let's say back when he was at 2, he was able to use magic that sort of puts him maybe at or maybe even above 5, but then after he used that magic, he still had to grow a bit more. That bumped him up maybe to a 2.3, but he still had to grow until now he's right here at 5. Now I'm just throwing a bunch of numbers out, so I hope everyone's following along. We need a graph. We definitely immediately need a graph of power levels on this show. So When was the first time we saw Old Man Merlin, I wonder? I'm gonna find out. Merlin. Okay. Let me see. I'm looking through the episodes, actually on IMDb. I'm gonna see if I can find what episode was. It was in season 3, though, I think. Yeah, I think it was in season 3. So let me look. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so yes, it was in season 3, episode 10. So for him to be able to do that towards the end of season 3, so I would put towards the end of season 3, you could almost say that is a 3.8 on the power level scale, I would say. Yeah. So that's about a 3.8 on the power level scale. So I'd probably put Morgana around there. So the match. So again, Merlin we currently have at about a 5. You know, I guess if you technically round down by episodes, then I would probably put him at a 5. So I would put Morgana probably like close to 4 on our power level scale. So yeah, honestly, she is getting pretty close. And with them saying, you know, oh, well, what if she does get as strong as me? And, you know, guys saying, like, oh, well, we just have to hope that day never comes. Like, oh, that day is coming. That day is coming. That girl, she's going to get into the hyperbolic time chamber. She's going to come out jacked. Like, she's going to be, oh my gosh, it's going to be crazy. She's going to be sexy as all hell. And she's going to be as powerful. Oh my gosh. I mean, because here's the thing. You could also say maybe this is a... Okay, so here's another thing I would say with Merlin versus Morgana. I would almost argue that it's not just about power levels. Because, yeah, I would say, while she may not be on Merlin's level yet, because, you know, Merlin's been using it his whole life, it's Maybelline, which is the dumbest yet funniest thing I've ever said on these videos. So he's used it all his life. She hasn't, but she's pretty close. You know, again, I'd put her at about a 3.8 on the power level scale, and I'd put Merlin right now at 5. And the other thing about it, though, is I think how they use their magic. You know? I would sort of say it's more of a superhero, supervillain sort of thing with how they use their magic. You know, like with let's say Superman and a supervillain, or All Might and a supervillain. Like, the thing about them is that, you know, with Superman or with All Might, they can never go to a true 100% of their power, because that would, you know, that would put too many people in danger. So, you know, and no matter what, they pretty much can never use, like, something is bound to go wrong if they actually use 100% of their power. So, both, you know, people like Superman or All Might, they pretty much have to, like, hold themselves back. Even Goku does that too, you know? Goku also pretty much, like, he has to hold himself back. You know, he can't just go all out 100%, or, you know, something bad would happen, whether that's to him or to the environment around him. So, I would say it's sort of like that. Whereas villains, like, let's say, General Zod or All for One or anyone, like, you know, super villains, they don't hold themselves back, you know? They don't hold themselves back because they don't care. You know, if, you know, it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to hold if I hold myself back, then, you know, or they hold themselves back. The superheroes hold themselves back because they don't want to hurt people. Supervillains don't care. They just do not care. And they say, well, I don't care if people get hurt. In fact, that's the entire point. I'm a supervillain. So I think that's also sort of a problem with the power scale, where Merlin can never go all out, whether that's because he might hurt someone or just the fact that his secret would be revealed, That's the thing, Whereas Morgana does not care. She does not care who she hurts, and everyone already knows she has magic, so she can go all out. So, even if she's at 3.8% and Merlin is at 5, or 3, if Morgana is at 3.8 on the power level scale, and Merlin is at a 5, he still sort of holds himself back, whereas Morgana goes all out and probably makes a bit more efficient use of her power. So, yeah, I would say, honestly, because of that, they're technically, I would say, evenly matched. Because of that, they're technically evenly matched. So, if Morgana actually did reach, let's say, level 5, if she actually reached level 5 and her power was equal to Merlin's, then that would be a severe problem because Merlin holds himself back and Morgana doesn't, So, yeah, that was just an interesting thing that they brought up, that, yeah, she is getting more powerful, and if she becomes as strong as Merlin, that can be a problem. So, I didn't realize we were going to go into a whole discussion about power levels in this episode, but one line, that's all it took for me to get talking. So we can kind of go into this episode. Honestly, there's not a ton of things that we can really talk about for this episode. There's some stuff, but pretty much just the basic stuff. Okay, by the way, it's Mythia, right? Damn it, there's not a cast list on here. Alright, I'm going back to IMDb. Merlin. There it is. Mithian, not Mythia. Okay. It's Mithian. Gotcha. My bad. Okay. Well, still. So yeah, we had the return of Princess Mithian, which was pretty cool. Okay, I'm glad that they never went for what I kind of thought they would go for, with like, oh, well, here comes Arthur's ex-girlfriend, begging for help, and Arthur's like, yes, we will help you no matter what. And it's like Arthur being like, well, yeah, because we're friends. They're the friends to Camelot and stuff. And I was thinking, oh man, is Gwen gonna be like, I wouldn't say jealous, but making sure like I don't know, maybe double questioning him. I don't know. But they did not, thank God they did not go that route, because that would have been dumb as shit. So I'm glad they didn't go that route, because that would have been really, really stupid. Instead, they go the route of, okay, well, Arthur helping out Mithian. There's a hair stuck in the tablecloth, and I'm trying to get it out. I just realized I've been staring down here for like 10 seconds, but alright. So, what the hell was I saying? Oh, yes. So when Gwen was like, hey, should we really be doing this? Is this the best idea? It was not because, like, hey, this is your ex-girlfriend and I'm going to be the uptight wife. Like, no, it was none of that. It was, should you be doing this because you might take any chance to try to get vengeance on Odin, and that could cost you your life. That was very interesting. That was very, very interesting. I like that angle to it. Because, yeah, like, I had forgotten everything about... See, it's such an interesting thing, this, like, kind of subplot we've had with Odin throughout the entirety of the show. I don't remember, did we... And I probably asked this the last time it came up, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. But did we see on screen when not Merlin, but when Arthur killed Odin's son? I don't remember if that... I don't remember. God, I always forget, but it's only brought up like once per season, so I can never really remember. But all I remember is Arthur killed Odin's son, and then Odin was the one that sent the assassins that killed Uther in season 4. Yeah, so yeah, I don't remember if they showed Arthur killing Odin's son. I assume his name is Thor. I don't know if they showed that on screen or not, and I've probably asked this a million times on the show, but I just don't remember. So, but again, I still like that they say, it's like, hey, you may, risk everything to try to get vengeance on Odin, and it could cost Camelot their king, So I like that angle, definitely. Okay, we gotta talk about a missed opportunity, man. Missed opportunity. You have an episode with Old Lady Morgana. With old Morgana. You put Katie McGrath in the old makeup, and you didn't put Merlin in the old man makeup and have old man Merlin, and then I could have a fight between Old Lady Morgana and old man Merlin. What is wrong with you? Missed opportunity to have these two, aching around as old people and trying to fight each other and being sassy and stuff. God, I would love to see that. Basically, I want to take all the sexual tension between the two of them and see how funny that would be when the two of them are old. Like, that is what I want. Because every time the two of them meet up, there is some sexual fucking tension between the two of them, So, I would have loved to have seen their dynamic, but as the two of them being older, Now, granted, Morgana doesn't know that Old Man Merlin is Merlin. She just thinks it's Emerus, but that still would have been funny, I think, Even if she doesn't know that that's Merlin, that might have been just a fun interaction between the two of them, Between Emerus and Hilda instead of Merlin and Morgana. Missed opportunity right there. I suppose maybe another missed opportunity. First off, Katie McGrath pulled that off brilliantly, I have to say. Like, until she transformed for the first time, I did not suspect that. I did not suspect her of being Morgana. So, she definitely pulled off the voice very well. And, you really have to, look at her and be like, yes, that is Morgana, But, I have to say, another missed opportunity is fun old lady Morgana. Like, every time they put Colin Morgan in that makeup, he's having the time of his life. It's like being a Spider-Man villain to him. It's like, he gets to overact to shit. And you always know he is having a fucking ball doing it. And why can't we get that with Morgana, Like, I don't know how many opportunities you could have done, but that would have been so amazing to watch her just having the time of her life in that old lady makeup. God. So, a bit of a missed opportunity. It was still good. It was still great, but, maybe there's bloopers. Maybe there's, bloopers of her in the old lady makeup. Oh, man. Maybe there's bloopers where there's still, like they do the sexual tension between Merlin and Morgana, but Morgana's just old. God, that'd be hilarious. I want this. Write it down. I want this. Can we bring the two of them back and do that 10 years later? No, this is 2012. 8 years later. Still. Because didn't this final season air in 2012? It's been 8 years since this show went off the air. I'm sure a lot of you hate that I said that because you're probably feeling old now. You're probably feeling as old as Morgana was in this episode. Although she didn't feel old, She didn't actually... She felt tired because she had to keep the spell up, but I like when Gaia says, oh yeah, she's incredibly fit. She's in way better shape than anyone her age has any right to be. And it's yeah, because secretly, under all that makeup, she's sexy, beautiful Morgana. Ugh. Her hair has been weird. Can I just say that? Her hair has been kind of weird. Like for the past, like, season, like, she's kind of changed her hair differently to, like, I don't even know what the fuck. It looks like a bird. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, like, weird. She's got, like, weird strands going everywhere. Like strands that are, like, coming up and then, like, over and then down. And it's so weird. And it's like, what the fuck is happening? Just, like, what was wrong with the hair she had, you know? I don't know. That was a weird tangent. We got Gaius doing magic. I thought that was pretty cool. So that was a severely bad injury that Merlin took. Where are you going? You just shifting over there? Alright. Alright, get comfy. Whoa, that's a good boy. Darby's been asleep under the table this whole time. He just shifted back over here to his dog bed that I brought in, so yeah. Sorry I can't show him because it just wouldn't work. I could probably edit in a picture if I remember. Maybe I'll remember, so. Anyway, so we had Gaius doing magic. So that was a really bad injury, basically, that Merlin took. Like, he took the head injury, yeah, but it pretty much so. He basically choked. He suffocated, and then that's what really kept him out for a while. Which, again, Morgana, just kill him. Like, what is wrong with you? Just go over and you're done. Morgana, why? It's like, look, Morgana, you're beautiful. I love you to death. But, God, why can't you just fucking kill them, you know? Stop just knocking them out and stuff and monologuing. Just fucking kill them. Ugh. Anyway. So yeah, like, so that was interesting, and I like, you know, they say it's like, oh, well, there's nothing to suggest any other injuries other than the head injury. But, so that implies, you know, even though, yeah, that was like a force choke, like a Darth Vader force choke, it didn't leave any marks, which makes sense when you really think about it. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. And then, yeah, Gaius actually using magic because he was desperate to heal Merlin, so he actually used his magic, but that magic did actually take a toll on him. So that it was pretty interesting. I like that. I like any time we get to see Gaius using magic, you know? I wrote down the earthquake. I thought that was pretty cool. How Merlin just, you know, did an earthquake and then trapped Morgana in a collapsing building. I mean, we all know she's going to be fine, but still. I just thought that was kind of interesting. And then we got Arthur versus Odin, which was pretty cool. A decent fight, and I like that. I do like that we are sticking to peace, you know? We are sticking with peace, you know? Which I guess maybe it'll be, you know, because we've said, like, oh, well, maybe Arthur will un-outlaw sorcery at some point. You know, legalize sorcery. Legalize! Anyway. And it's like, well, maybe he'll legalize sorcery someday. And it's like, you know, he could have done that by now, but maybe it's something like he'll bring peace to the kingdoms first, unite the kingdoms, then legalize sorcery. Can't believe it's taking me this long to think of the word legalize. I've always been like, un-outlaw sorcery. It's like, legalize. Just say that, you moron. So, anyway. But I like that. I like he was actually able to set aside, you know, the beef with Odin, and the two of them have now basically formed a truce, you know, formed a peace, which is good. Because, yeah, he makes a good point. If Arthur kills Odin, then Odin's men will come after him, and there will be endless war, and it's like, what is the point? And, you know, Odin saying, like, you killed my son, and it's like, you killed my father. Like, I think we're fucking even, you know? Like, just let it end there, you know? So I do like that they were actually able to make a truce. Even if it is sort of a bittersweet truce. It's still a truce, and it's still good. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I wrote down for this episode of Merlin. Again, another good episode, and I am excited to see where we are going next time. So with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Merlin reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.